sets. Exam examples part 2. Let's continue with example 3. In a class of 24 learners, 18 learners like homework, 15 learners like tests, and 1 learner does not like homework and does not like tests. Complete the Venn diagram to show this information. So let's start there. Now, what you can do is if you, that total, the 18, you can write it here on top. 18, and I know that, but not inside. And 15 is test, and 1 is inside. Now, in order to find that, first find that middle part. So what you do is you add all this amount. Okay, the amounts is 18, leave the inside, 18 plus 15 plus 1. So 18 plus 15 plus 1. The ones that they mentioned there. 18 plus 15 plus 1. Okay. Then you subtract, but you know that it's just 24. So you subtract the 24, and that answer is that middle part. Okay, and that's how you do it. And now you can start and you can say, okay, how do I find this one? I take the top, I subtract 10, and I get 8. I take the top, I subtract 10, and I get 5. And remember that one was 1, which didn't like homework or tests. Okay, and now I can start. So this is the first thing, it's just to complete. And examples differ a little bit, but I put in a few and we can go through each and every one. So question number B. Write down the number of learners who like both homework and tests. So this is now that middle part actually that they were asking you. So it's almost like they were asking you age intersection with T. Okay, that's what they were asking, but they just looked for the 10. Now, find, and now remember n is the amount. So if you start there, so age complement. So you cover age. Can you always remember how I do this? Okay, let me just get that bit. You cover, and it's 1 and 5. Do you see? And then T, what is T? It's the inside. So it's 10, 5, and 10. And now you look what is in both. It's 5. So it's 5. But because that is indicating amounts, you follow. So that's why in this will be 5. Okay, you don't put it in brackets. As soon as they ask n, it's actually a single number, because that is not representing the number 8. It's represent there are 8 students. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, so I want you to stop the video and I want you to do Trino 3 number 1. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Let's start. In a class of 40 learners, it's very important to underline. So that means that universal set is 40. 28 wear glasses. So you can write it there on top if you want. 13 have driver's license. 4 do not wear glasses and do not have, so it's on this outside. Okay, so complete the Venn diagram. So it's almost like the top one. Number 1. I'm just going to add, it's actually that 3 amounts. So, or that. So I'm going to say 28 plus 13 plus 4. And then I'm going to subtract that outside 40. And what do I get? I get 5. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that middle part will be 5. And now I can just subtract 28 minus 5, that will be 23. And 13 minus 5, that will be 8. And you can test it, okay, that is 4, by saying 23 plus 5 plus 8 plus 4, and then you must get 40. Okay, can we maybe just check? 23 plus 5, it's 28, plus 8, so that will be 36 plus 4, and that will give you 40. So you can do that check. And so that was question A. Question number B. Use set notation to describe the region that contains a total of 32 learners. Okay, now I have to look. Where will I find 32 learners? So if I look at D and D's complement, so yeah, if I look at this 28 and I add 4, do you see? Now, how will I write that? I will say, do you see what I'm doing? I'm taking this one and this one. Let me take another color. I'm taking this one and this one. How will I write that? So I think I will just say G. I know it's G. And I will say the union and with, and what will this one be? So this one will be D's complement. So if I cover D, it's that one. So let's check it. Let's check to see if I'm correct. So what is G? It was 5 and 23. What is D's complement? It's 4 and 23. But remember the 23 and its union. So if I don't repeat elements, so it's going to be 4, it's going to be 5, and it's going to be 23. And if I'm going to add that up, so that's 28 plus, and that's going to give me a total of 32. That N, that's actually meaning N of that one will give me 32 learners. So you said to describe the region that contains that. And that's how you do it. Okay, so I want you to stop the video again, and I want you to do number 2. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Let's start. E, the universal set. Learners in a school. T, learners who play tennis. C, learners who play cricket. There are 240 learners in the school, the universal set. 120 play tennis. 40 play cricket. And 90 learners play tennis, but not cricket. Now, in this case, they give you a certain one. Okay, but let's first fill in what we have. So this is 240. 120, so there on top, it's 120. 40 play cricket. So there is going to be my 40. 19 learners play tennis, so they play tennis, but not cricket. So basically, they are giving me this one. Okay, so I always just look for one, because as soon as I have one, I can start playing around with the numbers. So if I have this one, then I can go and say, oh, but then this one is 30, because 120 minus 90 will be 30. And then 40 minus 30, it will be 10. And now the rest, I just add up all this, so it's 90. This is going to be 120, and this is going to be 130. And so I'm going to say 240 minus that. Can I just show you? It was 90 plus 30 plus 10, which was that 130. And then I'm getting 110. And I know that this is 110. And that's how I do it. So it's not always the same. So as long as I just have one, I can fill in the rest. Okay, but one in the circle, in the outside one will not help me. Now I'm going to go on. Now remember, N is the amount, but first let's just write it down. So this is number 2. So number B, this was A to help me in A. So it's N, and it's T's complement intersection C's complement. Okay, now let's first start with T's complement. So if I'm cover T, I'm going to get 10, and I'm going to get 110. Okay. C's complement. If I cover C, I'm going to get 90, and I'm going to get 110. And now it's intersection. So if I look at the intersection, what do I get? I'm going to get 110. Do you see? But that's amount. So N, T intersection complement, T's complement, C's complement will be 110 amount. It's going to be the correct answer. Okay. And that's how you do that one. Again, I want you to stop the video. Just going to move it up a little bit for you. There. And I want you to do number 3. Again, you can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Okay. But let's start. Number 3. This year, 40 learners have each traveled by one or more of plane, train, or boat. Okay, so it's either, so it's going to be 40. Okay. 7 have traveled only by plane. Okay, so I know already that's 7. 11 have traveled only by train. So I know that's 11. 9 have traveled only by boat. 9. Okay. Now, I'm going to say, now, can I just show you before I'm going to make this middle one here. I'm going to make it X. Okay. So now I can start with I say N, P and T. P and T is going to be 8. But because I make that middle one X, it's going to be 8 minus X. And there's an example in the textbook. You can look. You will find an example which I did it like that. Okay. Now, B and T, let's see, B and T, it's going to be 3. So it's going to be 3 minus X. Okay. And then B and P, it's going to be this 2, it's 6 minus X. So the most important is you put the X first inside. Okay. And now I can start the calculation. So if I say complete the Venn diagram, okay, let's just see if I have more information than I'm doing with this. Now, before I start, because I'm busy working with the inside, I'm just going to say there are 40 learners. And I'm going to subtract first just this outside numbers. So I'm going to subtract the 7, I'm going to subtract the 11, and I'm going to subtract the 9. And then I get that inside. And that is going to be 13. Okay. Remember, it's either they travel, so there's nothing on the inside, so by one or more. So it's not, nobody was not traveling, so it will be that inside. Okay. But now remember that 13 is now, and if I can make it like this, it's represented by this middle part here. Do you see that? That's going to be 13. That's 13. So if I make now an equation of this middle part, I can say 8 minus X, you see that top? I can say this one, 6 minus X plus 6 minus X plus 3 minus X, and don't forget the inside, plus X, that will give me a total of 13. So I basically just take this 1, 2, 3, 4 regions, I add them, and I must get a total of 13. Now nicely that cancel out. Do you see that? So I'm ending with negative 2x, and that is going to be then that 13, and now I start subtracting. Subtract the 8, subtract the 6, subtract the 3. And that's going to be negative 2x is equal to negative 4. And then I divide negative 2, I divide negative 2, and the value of x will be 2. Okay, so complete the Venn diagram. I'm not done. I'm just going to clean it now. So let's just find this inside now. Okay, I think I'm just going to write it in blue. So 8 minus 2, so this is meaning, this is, I think I'm rather going to redo it. Otherwise you don't see it so nice. Okay, so can you recall this was 7? Okay, let's just get the pen correct again. This was 7, this was 11, this was 9. Okay, and now this one was 8 minus 2. So this one is going to become 6. Remember? Let me rather go for it. This is going to be 6. The middle was 2. Then this one was 6 minus 2. That's going to become 4. And this one is going to be 3 minus 2. And this is going to become 1. And again, if you add all these values, you're going to get that 40. Okay. Again, a little bit different. But the nice thing is, if you saw one of more or less the same, and you see it in the exams, then you remember, oh, okay, I can just follow this method, which I also saw in an exam example. Okay, So let's start now with the questions. So question number A. Complete the Venn diagram. That's what we did. Okay, so basically that was question A. Find. Now, this is going to be B. So it's N, P, union, B, and it's going to be complement. Okay, so let's write first P down. What is going to be P? P is going to be 2. It's there inside. Do you see? So let's write 2, 4, 6, 7. I like to write it first down. Okay, and then what is B? B is going to be 1, 2, 4, 9. Do you see there? 1, 2, 4, 9. And then the intersection is going to be 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9. Okay, but now don't forget, it's complement of that. So it means it's all the elements except that. So it's almost like I can scratch that. So it's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 4, it's not 6, it's not 7, and it's not 9. So if I look, then what will be left? So therefore, N, P, intersection, P's complement, the one that's left will be 11. Did you see? So it's complement. So write it down and then scratch that, and the one that's left was 11. Okay, and then the last one. Use set notation to complete the statement. So let's just go back to the blue. Let's just move up. Okay, so this is going to be, and it's actually easy. So it's intersection of all of them's complement. So it means none of the inside, and there's nothing on the outside. So basically, it's just going to be an empty set. And how do I write that? You can either do it like this, or you make it like this. That one is not looking nice. Or you just make it like that. And that's going to be number 3. I want you to stop again the video, and I want you to do number 4. You can continue the video as soon as you are finished. Okay. Now the nice one about this one is they already put it in terms of algebra. And then they give you just information. So they say the Venn diagram shows information about the number of elements in set A and B and the universal. And then they say the amount of A union B. So this 2 will be 23. So it's actually very nice. It's the previous one, if you did that. So it's basically almost like number 3. If I just add everything, all that expressions, I will get 23. Okay, so basically just negative x, and that is going to be that 23 minus 20 minus 8, and don't be afraid of the negative, it will cancel out. So that is going to give me negative 5, and divide negative 1, or it's going to divide out, and it's going to be 5. Okay, so find the value of x, so therefore x is equal to 5. That was actually a very nice one. I could have even put it higher up. Okay, let's look at the last example of my exam examples. And then this is a bit a different one, so I was checking for a little bit something different. So if you look at this one, it starts by saying the universal set, it's integers greater than 2. Now, it's always good if you greater, so it's 3, 4, 5, 6 going on. Prime numbers, so it's greater than 2. So remember, it's not 2. So it's going to be 3, 5, 7, not 9. It's not a prime, 11, and going on. So I just write a few. Odd numbers. So remember, it's going to be 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay, 9's coming in now. Okay, and then square numbers. It's numbers multiplied by itself. So it cannot be 1 times 1 because 1's not in. So it can be 4, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 square, 5 square, 6, and so on. So it's always good to write it out to just have an idea. Okay, and now they say, describe the type of numbers in set B's complement. Okay, now I showed you here. What is B's complement? It's all that's not in B. Okay, so 3, 5, 7, so it's all the odd numbers. But what is not in B? So if you look at A, it's prime numbers. The only even one was 2, and that's out. So it's definitely not, it's going to be in B's complement. It's not. But if I look, it's just going to be this one, 4, 16, 36. Do you see? So it's going to be that. And then the intersection of, and then it's going to be 4, 9. Now that is the whole one. Do you see that? And then if I really look at it, I'm ending up with just the even square numbers. And that's why I called it even square numbers. Okay. So just B's complement is actually just C. It's actually just the set of C. Okay, I could have write it like that. But it's just not the odd. Do you see? It's just the even part. And that's why it's even square numbers. Okay, so just play around with that. And then complete the set labels in the Venn. Now, that is especially if one is included. So it's like which one is included. If you look at A, do you see it? Because there is 9 also in A. So A is there included in B. Do you see that? And then C is bringing the even numbers also in. Okay. And so they are just making sure that you call this one A, this one B, and this one C. So not really that difficult, but a little bit different. I want you to stop the video and I want you to do number 1. Again, you can continue the video as soon as you are finished. So X is an integer. Okay, so just start there. So the universal set between, and they tell you, between 41 and 50. So it's included. Okay, and then X is an odd number in that, and then it's a multiple of 3. It's a prime number, complete. Now, the best will be if you do one like this. If you start and you're first going to, okay, I'm just making it, it's not so nice as that one. So let's just first write it down. This is going to be 41. Remember, there's an equal sign. This is going to be 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. Okay, write it out. Okay, now I start. What is A? I'm going to make it another color. So A is the odd numbers. So it's 41, 43, 45, 47, 49. So it's 41, 43, 45, 47, 49. Okay, so let's take another color and we do B. So it's the multiples of 3. Now, if I'm looking at the multiples, it's all that can divide. So it's going to be 42, and then it's going to be 45, and then it's going to be 48. It's almost like I add 3 every time. Okay, so 43, 48. And then I'm going to look at the last one, C. Let's see if I have another color. Prime numbers. Now, it's very good that you sometimes just Google prime numbers less than 50 and just memorize it so that you just know it by heart and you're not making mistake. Even up to 100, just memorize it. But the prime numbers is going to be 41, 43, and 47 in this set. So 41, 43, and 47. But because it takes time to see what numbers is only having 2 factors, the number 1 and the number itself. That is what the prime numbers are. Okay. And now this is actually challenging to put it in. So complete the Venn diagram to show this information. So the best will be to first look in these sets if you see if something is the same in all of them. But if I look, okay, it's the best to see. Is 42 in all? No. Is 45 in all? No. So basically, there's nothing in there. Do you see? So let's just show you. Nothing is there. Okay, now what I can do, now I can start by saying B and C. Now let's see B and C. Now if I look again, I see nothing there. But if I look at A and C, and okay, let's just take A. I see 41, I see 43, and I see 47. Do you see? So that will be in this part. So remember, nothing there, nothing there. But now I'm going to fit in this one's 41. Okay, let's just see if I can fit it nice in. Otherwise, I have to redraw it. 41 and 43 and 47. Okay, so let's continue. But be careful now. If I look at A and B, I did not compare that part. So if I look at A and B and I see, oh, look, there's a 45. So that means 45 must be there. Okay, and now if I already have 45, then the only one that's left is 49 there. And now, if I already have, now I look in B. I didn't have 42 yet, and I didn't have 48 yet. Okay. And now, be careful. What is the numbers that's not included in this set? Now, what you can do, if you struggle, you can basically just cross them out. So by saying, okay, 41, okay, you can actually see it's underlined. But let's just see 44. Is 44 in any one of them? No. So then 44. Okay. So if you underlined it, it's already that you can see it. 46 is not underlined and it's not there. Then I look at 48. 48 is there, it's underlined. The other one that's not underlined is 50. Okay. And if you really want to make sure, you can basically just start from a side and just go to the basic one and just start scratching. 49, scratch 45, scratch 42, scratch to see that you have all in your Venn diagram. So I must be honest, this was a bit complicated to complete this Venn diagram. Not difficult, just keeping track. Okay, now that was number A. So that was number A. Now I'm at number B. So list the elements of A union with C. So let's look A and C. Do you see? Now that's a nice one because it's that little 3. Can you remember? So that was 41 and 43 and 47. You can basically just use your sets now, your Venn diagram. Okay, now B and C, so B and C complement. Remember, it's like you cover B, cover C, and you write that outside. So let's just do that. So it's B union C complement. Okay, and let's just start. So it's the 44 on the outside, the 46 on the outside, and then that 49 in just A, and then 50 on the outside. Okay, and then the last one, number C. Now, this is the amount. So it's saying intersection A, B, C. So that is representing that part. And if you see, there's nothing. So N, A, intersection B, intersection C. And that will be, don't make an empty set. Just say 0 because it's an amount. So you can just say 0. Okay. So again, I want you to stop the video and I want you to do the last question in this video. This was just a very nice, interesting question to me. Not difficult, just interesting. Okay, let's start. 40 children were asked if they have a computer or a phone or both. The Venn diagram shows the result. So this is having a computer. This is a computer and a phone. Just a phone, not computer, not phone. Now, just by changing the words, do not have a computer, do not have a phone. Okay, so it's almost these values this values of the top that I must just refill in there. Okay, now the best will be to start there with the 2. So that 2 will be there in the middle because they do not have a computer, they do not have a phone. Okay, now do not have a computer. So this was only having a phone. Do you see this? So this will be then 23. Okay. Do not have a phone. Okay. So this was the ones that was having that computer in that case. And then basically, what will this be? This will be they have a computer and this will stand there. So it was just for me interesting how the positions change and that you maybe don't catch out if they ask, just bringing a do not in and how we change the Venn diagram. Okay, you know that I always stop my videos and I just want to show you, there it is, where you can buy, in what shops you can buy a copy of the Y equals mx+c mathematics textbooks. And there I gave you all the shops and I gave you also the contact number. So it's the best to phone them first and to compare prices.